Recently, One Piece has been a lot more like Simp Piece. Almost every old generation legend has been head over heels for one woman, and it even led to one of the most impactful moments in the entire series history, God Valley. The funniest part about this is until now, everyone would always slander and make fun of the main representative for simps, Vinsmoke Sanji. There has always been the conversation surrounding whether or not he will become a Conquerors Haki user, and many people felt that because of his uncontrollable lust for women, he can't become a conqueror. However, we have seen throughout the series, many times actually, that you can obtain the color of the Supreme King, yet have a love interest. What's up guys, my name is Vertics, and if you enjoy videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. I put out quality content weekly you won't want to miss. Now, what exactly qualifies you to become a conqueror? Well, it's all about the user's will and ambition. When we look at characters like Luffy and Zoro, for example, they are dead set on accomplishing their dreams. They make constant remarks about their ambition and let everyone know they're in the way. They don't give up on their dreams at any point, and Sanji is no different. He abides by his rules of fighting with only his legs and never hitting a lady. When we are first introduced to Sanji, he is fighting off the Don Krieg pirates who threaten Zeph's restaurant, yet still treats them with respect. When Jin barks in, demanding for food, Sanji will not let him disrespect his place of work, but he will also not let a man go without food no matter who they are. From his very first few moments, we can see that Sanji is a man who has a code to honor and will do so no matter what. Now, in the same arc, Sanji makes a certain statement to Zoro when fighting Mihawk. Just abandon your dreams, stupid, it's easy. Now, I feel that a lot of people use this to knock down the idea of him unlocking Conquerors Haki, but this is very disingenuous in my opinion. Every character is changing throughout the series, they are learning things and becoming either better or worse versions of themselves. In this case, Sanji is improving, as at the end of Baratier, he talks with Zeph, where he is informed that there are men that will fight for their dreams until they die. The one thing most Sanji haters won't tell you is that Sanji admires this, and it has a lot to do with why he even decided to set sail with Luffy and the Straw Hats in the first place. Another moment Sanji haters love bringing up to shit on Sanji's PR is where he begged Robin to come save him from Black Maria during Wano. I understand why people would view this as slander. After all, it definitely isn't a strong look for his character, but what if I told you that it adds into why he may become a conqueror? Instead of going against what he stood for, he was willing to get beaten and almost killed for his beliefs, yet he didn't back down. There's not a moment in the series that Sanji gives up on his beliefs. Even in Whole Cake, people have tried to use this arc to debunk him being eligible for Conquerors Haki. However, if anything, it shows the opposite, as we see through his backstory with Judge and his siblings that he refused to become one of them and followed his mother's teachings instead. When his brothers disrespect the cookings of one of the woman chefs, he eats her food off the floor and shows her the respect her brothers failed to because he knows it's what's right to do in this situation. Even after his family disowned and abused him every chance they got to, he still chose to turn back and save them from an emperor's crew with limited power. He was willing to walk back into the middle of an emperor's territory without the full strength of the Straw Hats to save the family that wanted nothing to do with him. If anyone else did this, they would be getting the rightful hype and respect, but whenever Sanji does something of this caliber, most people tend to look the other way. This is even showcased further in Wano when Sanji is going through an entire mental episode because he's worried about becoming like his horrible brothers. The man simply refuses to become the person he doesn't like and honors his code like no other. Sanji isn't the traditional conqueror, but not all conquerors have the same beliefs. What would you say Rayleigh's dream was? Because I don't know if he even had one. When Roger met him, he was doing literally nothing but drinking and sunbathing. The only, I guess, conqueror trait he showed was being the one person not forming heart eyes over Shaggy. I'm not saying the guy shouldn't be a user, but Sanji has so many more Conquerors Haki traits than the right-hand man of the Pirate King, which should tell you a whole lot. Whitebeard's dream was about starting a family, and he even turned down the opportunity to become the next Pirate King just for that. Hell, Chinja was a conqueror because he had some treasure underneath an ice continent he could split in half, yet he's fodder and Sanji's stronger than he is. We have seen multiple cases of people not having the most conqueror-like mentalities, yet still obtaining the ability. There are also several Conquerors Haki users who have similar traits to Sanji that makes it all more certain that he will unlock this ability. Oden, who I feel all of us can agree deserves this ability, doesn't have a dream like most others. He wants to open Wano's borders and explore the world. How is that any different from Sanji wanting to open up the Red Line and form the All Blue? If anything, Sanji's dream is bigger and harder to accomplish. He will even explore the world more than Oden did when the series reaches its end, but because he's a lustful man, some people are going to question him. Well, not only have Roger, Rocks, and Whitebeard all simped over Shaki during the God Valley era, but Boa, in my opinion, might have Sanji beat for the biggest simp in One Piece. While she doesn't keep her options as open as Sanji does, she will do literally anything for the sake of Luffy. She left the warlords and went against the ancient customs of Amazon Lily, all for her love over Luffy when he hasn't shown a single bit of interest back towards her. If anything, I would say that's worse than Sanji, as he at least tries with multiple women and has been successful at times. Boa is strictly addicted to Luffy and hasn't gotten close to him like Sanji has with some of the women in the series. Yet whether you like it or not, she remains a Conquerors Haki user, and was even one of the very first people to showcase this ability. Oda himself is lustful, and this is no surprise. I'm sure I don't have to explain. I mean, the dude drops hints like these in the SBS. I don't know what you guys expect. I feel like a lot of people define Conquerors Haki off what they want it to be, rather than what it actually is. How many conversations have you seen where people are judging Conquerors users for if they truly deserve it, or if less people should obtain it? It's a very frequent topic you'll see being discussed throughout the series, and that's why a lot of people in the community have a false idea of what Conquerors Haki should be. One of, if not the biggest showcases for Sanji this arc, is him being a parallel to Gabon. Just how Luffy parallels Roger and Zoro with Rayleigh, Sanji follows suit with Gabon. We know that all three of Roger, Rayleigh, and Gabon have Conquerors Haki, and of course, so do Luffy and Zoro. Sanji being a Conquerors user fits perfectly in the Monster Trio's parallel to the old version. Both Oda and Gabon slightly tease Sanji with the idea of him unlocking this ability when Gabon looks at both him and Zoro and says, "It looks like there's more than one of you that can use the color of the Supreme King." Sanji was fully convinced here that Gabon was talking about him, which means he not only understands the ability and what it is, but it means he believes he's eligible to become one. There's a certain fan base that does anything they can to deny this parallel between Sanji and Gabon, but Oda is constantly putting it in our faces. It's not something that he's giving little hints about no more, but he's a lot more direct with Sanji and Conquerors Haki. I obviously believe he's going to obtain it, and I think that will come in the form of him saving some important woman in his life. Whether that is Nami, Robin, or maybe even rescuing Pudding from the Blackbeard pirates, if he's going to unlock Conquerors in any way, it would be by saving a woman he considers dear to him. I feel like a lot of the Sanji doubt and disrespect comes from his opponents not being taken seriously at all. Queen was certainly a goofy looking and acting character, but he was also Kaido's second strongest crewmate and his left-hand man. Name one character that Sanji has fought in a 1v1 that is genuinely respected by the community. The only moments he has fighting the stronger and cooler designed opponents are in Egghead, when he clashed with Kizaru and Nisjuro for a second, but these aren't full-on fights he's having with them. He suffers from lack of strong enemies that he faced off against in a 1v1. He has the necessary abilities and strength to defeat multiple YC1 caliber opponents, yet Oda will have him fighting the most horrific creature known to man. Beforehand, the only cool moments he had post time skip was stopping Doflamingo during Dressrosa. We all know the history of Sanji and Fishman Island and Punk Hazard, but since Whole Cake, the Heart Eyes seem to have been slowing down, and he is getting a lot more screen time and especially more power. The Heart Eyes will never come to a complete stop, but it is slowing down as time goes on, and Oda is really starting to enjoy Sanji's character. Conquerors Haki isn't something Oda is necessarily picky about, and with Sanji being one of his most important and favorite characters, don't be shocked if this ability comes down his alley. Dread it, run from it, Sanji unlocking Conquerors Haki is inevitable. Well, that's it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm and it's very appreciated. As always, shout out to my boy Tiberius for the thumbnail. He makes quality thumbnails for me all the time. And if you would like some of your own, hit him up on Twitter, link in the description, as well as my Twitter at Vertics_ for more of my takes. And without further ado, you guys can get out of here.